Welcome back to Metroid Fusion. We're in Sector 1. I believe it was called SRX or something, because the area represents SR388's environment. This biological research station or whatever, it's just got a whole bunch of biological life forms all over it. I'm guessing the breeding grounds were these 6 sectors down here on the bottom. And boy howdy, there sure are a lot of X's down here. Makes sense they would make their way to the SR388 one first. I like how they just have an SR388 one, though. Okay, so we can go down, but I want to go up. So let's go back over here and hop up a level. Got him. Probably could have just shot them with my regular old-fashioned gun. Oh yeah, they don't have to missile them at all. Take very few hits. Oh my goodness, I hate that room. Let's go over here first. Okay, lava looks painful. We can go up here though. Here's where I mentioned before you can do this. Hey Samus, how are you grabbing that with your gun? So in, not necessarily playing ahead, but just like dipping my feet in the game to make sure like, hey, everything works. I did dive into lava at one point, and lava works a lot like water, in that the physics for it are horrible. So I was like, hey, can I just run through the lava to get something? And probably not, no. Okay, so we got some space pirates in here. You want to climb up that wall a little bit so I can shoot you? No, you're just gonna go over there? Okay. Okay. This room is kind of a butt. Because aiming down is one of the hardest things that you can do in this game. And these things will reform if you don't grab their X parasites. Which is shockingly difficult to do when they're up against the wall like that. So this whole room is just kind of a pain in the butt. I think as long as you grab one of the X parasites, they don't reform though. Like it's a bigger enemy. So it takes more X to do it. Yeah, there's nothing else in here. Oh, so one kind of little touch this game does that even Super did not do was it paid some attention to how the world was physically constructed. Like Super had no real qualms with just having a platform floating out in the air somewhere. But in here, they didn't have to put these platform things in, reaching out to grab onto each one of these. But it makes it work in much more of a physical sense, and it adds a little bit more flair to the environment, which is kind of nice. I do want to know how civilians are supposed to get around in here, though. Okay, water bad, got it. Okay, we got another duder in here. Grabbing these is also very easy. Like, you don't grab it automatically if you just touch it, but as long as you hold the direction towards it, you can grab it. Hey. So you saw those things churning out. God dang it. That is ducking hard. So you saw those things like that thing up there that's churning out X parasites. Okay, it only takes like 2 regular shots, but they're just a little bit under your shot height, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. I like legit want to go down there, even though I'm sure there's nothing there. Ooh, great doors. Oh, you know, maybe these doors just like don't open until you've destroyed the stabilizer. I also kind of like the nice touch of seeing these guys hopping around in the background. I was expecting them to hop out, like, to the foreground as a way to just constantly replenish enemies, but I don't think they do. Let's see here. Oh, we can go up this way. Heck yeah. Oh, this game also introduced the power-up sound for small items. Like, even in Super Metroid, when you collected a missile expansion, any missile expansion, you got the full do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And they don't do that in this game. They do that for major items, I think. But small items like just a regular missile expansion, when you already have missiles, it just does the little... Hey, I'm below you now, what? Oh, dang. What the heck? Why couldn't I jump off? Okay, he's gonna hop over. Or not. Whatever, buddy. Not sure how you grab that with only your hands there, Samus, but I'm not gonna talk about it. Not gonna argue. Oh, we didn't come down here earlier, but if we had come down here from the save point, we would have seen that this was actually separated off. And you have to go through one of these one-way gates. And it is, in fact, a one-way gate. You go through and now you can't go back. Okay, so you see that one's flashing. That one's flashing. It's gonna reform, you can't do anything about it. Can I get out of here? I'm gonna get back up top. Okay, we killed him, we killed him, we killed him. Oh, butts. Water is so bad. At least it stays destroyed. Oh, what the heck? There we go. Also, that little deal with grabbing the ledge and then pulling yourself up into a morph ball, neat stuff. Like it. You don't have to worry so much. So these dudes here are effectively your recharge station. I think we're full, so we don't need it. But it's a nice little design thing. In that, A, enemies come back into the room infinitely, though killing them is kind of a pain in the butt because there's 3 and they don't necessarily show up in an appropriate height or position to kill them easily or quickly. But note, when you first come in, the 2 enemies are on a slight hump in the middle of the room. So whereas normally you'd shoot over their heads, you could just walk in, shoot and kill them, grab the items and get to the other side. Like, it's small, but that's a real nice little ease of access to kill them when the only reason they're there for is to help you grind stuff without an actual recharge room. Open up. Nope. forget what those red ones do. It's not a full heal. But yeah, these are much like the boss doors in Super Metroid. The ones in Super Metroid, they didn't shoot at you unless you left them open without getting hit for an extended period of time. So as long as you're quick and accurate, it's just always a 3-missile door, effectively. That you have to wait a second for it to open its eye. These, on the other hand, when they open, you have to look at the eye on the eye. Because when it's got a little black dot in it, you can hit it. When it doesn't, and is flashing, it's going to shoot at you. And the ones in Super Metroid just kind of shot a little thing at you. These shoot that big old son of a gun at you. It's actually more of a fight to get in this door. Considering I don't know if I like the idea of just opening a door, fighting a door, being this aggressive, this big of a beast. Whereas in Super, it felt more like kind of a corruption over the door almost, that's just defending itself. This feels like a proper beast. But given that it's an X-parasite taking over the door, and whatever that red one is at that, it kind of makes sense that it's a bigger, nastier thing that just happens to be living on this door. Anyway, let's fight a boss. We're gonna fight a Torzo. I don't want to fight a Torzo. Nope, gray door, can't leave. Can't do it. Okay, so this guy... There we go, we did it. Why am I getting hurt? Can't even shoot. See, it's shooting at me, but I can't tell what. Give me that. So it was hard to see because it was like almost point blank away from me and shot as soon as it opened its eye and lined up with me. But what it was shooting out was this. And this is the only game that I can think of off the top of my head that actually getting the charge beam changes your base shot. I think that's the only Chozo statue we'll find in this entire game, and that's probably because this is the SR388 area, and they may have just found a Chozo statue on SR388. But hey, we got the charge beam now! Suspicious. Really? Ah, I know it! Oh, I don't have bombs. Ooh, a lot of them. So here it was, I saw the little grabby things up top, and I was like, why are those even up there? Why would you need to grab on up here? And then off to the left, I saw this little black thing. I can't aim diagonally up. I saw that little black mark on the wall, and I saw two of them right next to each other. And that said, you're suspicious. I'm not actually sure yet if the charge beam has actually made my base beam stronger or not. Like, it's bigger, so it's easier to hit stuff with it. We did it. Mission accomplished. Back here. Good job, team. Alright. So I'm gonna be honest, this was actually kind of a nice little area. Like, they gave us our mission at the start, said go take out the atmospheric stabilizers, but they didn't tell us where they were, and we haven't talked to anybody since then. This whole little area here was us just running around and exploring and doing our own thing. And that was nice. Like, that's the gameplay that you want. You don't play a Metroid game to read a lot of text, you play a Metroid game to explore and shoot stuff. Not that story is irrelevant. Can I like charge beam you? Sure can. Hey, come here. Yeah, not that story is irrelevant. Story absolutely has an important place in not just games in general, but like even in something like this. Framing is important, motivation is important. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm knocking story. Okay, I'm splashing, don't worry about it. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. Come back. So something I want to try. I want to test something. It did reform into him. That may be only those enemies, though. I'm trying to determine something, but it's hard to tell. Are there any enemies in here now? Whatever, I'll figure it out later. So what I wanted to experiment with is... What about these guys? I want to watch these two. I don't want to collect them, I just want to watch them. They did, they just left. So I think some of these X-parasites are designed to reform into something else. Like, there was the really big... There was the really big, really giant 3 parasite dude in that room. And I think the parasites would reform into that one. But I think after you killed that one, or the other ones or whatever, they couldn't reform into anything. Or they couldn't reform into that big one. So the little ones would just kind of float around and eventually leave. So it looks like in some rooms they're designed to be able to reform into something. But probably a lot of the smaller enemies, and I'll have, like, the one parasite dudes. It seems like those, when you kill one, it'll just kind of float around and then leave the room, and it won't necessarily reform. I'm going to want to figure out the specifics of that, because it's going to make me having to hunt these things down and kill them repeatedly feel a lot better when I know what will and will not reform. Like, what do I have to rush to do? Okay, we can't do anything else, so let's go back, figure out where plot's gonna let us go next. Sure are. Tropical. Yeah, we kind of poked our head down there, but you didn't let us through. I mean, I don't know how it got down here. It was up top. Oh, more story time with Samus. Like, I don't know. I appreciate the inside, I just feel like it's way too heavy-handed. Kind of all the plot in this game, really. But, as I said, an early game, they didn't quite know how to tell a story in games like this yet. They're still figuring it out. Alright, give me the specifics of my mission, and then let me go run free. Dun dun dun! I like how the da-da-da came up before it even said an X mimicking you. It came up when, like, Samus was printing off. Alright, the SAX. Samus Aran X. Makes sense. Had a lot of X parasites in there. Why were you carrying X on here? Friggin' Galactic Federation, man. Yeah, so we run into that thing. That's a quick way it'll take us out right there. I don't think you can hurt the SAX right now. I think you need a beam later on before you can actually hurt it. Sure thing. Explore until I figure out what to do. Got it. Looking for a security room, looking for bombs. And, you know, we've been going for quite some time, so let's take a break. So we were given the hint that it is not on map. We were also given the heads up, we're probably going to run into the SAX, and when we do, we just run. Nothing we can do about it right now. But we have our target, but we can't get to that target yet, so we're going to have to explore and look for something off-map first. Nice tiny little area, though. I look forward to exploring more of it. Anyway, until next time, everyone.